What's up, everybody? Renfail here, back again with another Baldur's Gate 3 guide, and this one is the continuation of my Moon Druid, which we first talked about in the Beginner's Build Creation Guide, and I have been streaming this character every day. We're currently in Moonrise Towers, I think we're like 45-ish hours into the game right now. Let's take a look real quick if we go take a peek. Yeah, 46 hours, 54 minutes. So right at 47 hours into the game. And I've had some people asking me about the shapes that you could take, the wild shapes that you can take with your druid. Now, the interesting thing about the Moon Druid is that you get more shapes as you level up. And I am currently level 9 with this character. So I'm sort of mid-range, the higher end of the mid-range. I believe level 8 was when I got the most recent, and then I think you get some more a little bit further on. Plus, there's a tadpole one that you get as well if you want to choose to use the tadpole. But we'll cover that guide once we have all of the shapes at our disposal. We will talk about that a little bit more then. But right now, what I wanted to do was just discuss the mid-range Moon Druid, the shapes that I have, how I use the shapes at my disposal. I don't really use all of them. I have a few that I kind of focus on specifically for different things, and that's what this guide is about, how to use the wild shapes at your disposal as a mid-level Moon Druid. So, if that sounds fun to you, this is the part of the video where you're going to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the bell icon so you never miss an update as we continue to play this character during the daily live streams, which happen every day at 11 a.m. Central here on the channel. Also, don't forget the Discord. Links are down below. Check out all the other playlists because we do tons of other stuff. We're prepping for Starfield, Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty. We do film reviews, TV shows, and podcasts around Middle-earth and Dune, so check all those things out. In the meantime, I got some coffee. I just had an amazing BLT sandwich with eggs that Chris just prepared for me. So I am prepped and ready to dive into this video with all of you. So let me move this camera, or excuse me, my Streamlabs over here. So first and foremost, let's bring this up. We'll bring up the wild shapes option here. And right now, the variants that I have are badger, spider, wolf, bear, deep wraith, dire raven. Actually, is that deep wraith? Deep wraith. Dire raven, panther, owl bear, saber-toothed tiger, and cat. Now, out of all of these, I would argue that the one I use the most is owlbear, and I don't use it to cheese the encounters like some people have on the internet. Like, I saw a video the other day where someone took their owlbear form, enlarged it, climbed up as high as they could get, and then launched themselves down at enemies, and they can do, 800 points of damage or whatever it is. But that's cheesing the game. Like, that's not the way this is meant to be played. So I tend to play this like I would play a traditional D&D campaign, which means I just pretty much stick to your typical encounters and using the things the way they were intended. That's not to say that that's not a thing you could try and you want to do, but I'm not going to go through the game and cheese every encounter like that. I'm definitely playing it straightforward and very in a linear fashion. So the owlbear is currently my favorite shape. It allows you to do some pretty significant damage with your multi-attacks, and then of course being able to rupture the ground and become enraged. So if we get into this and look at how this works, your owlbear shape has a starting health of 65 hit points as of right now. That increases every 2 druid levels. I also get to rupture the ground, which is an AoE. It does 2d8 of bludgeoning with another additional 1d6 of bludgeoning. Targets take half damage on save. Now, if you've never seen this, just tune into one of the live streams because I do use this a lot, and it's great for AoE encounters. I can get him up there with Lae'zel, and Lae'zel might take a little bit of damage, but it's more important to just do it to all the other creatures. And the amount of hit points that it gets is very useful. Now, I used to use the bear form primarily. Where's it at here? The bear shape I tended to use primarily in the beginning as the alternate tank for when Lae'zel might be getting into troubles or they were wailing on my healer or Gale, because of the fact that you get Goad, which is an AoE taunt that focuses all of the aggro onto you. So it's very useful in situational areas. Um, but I think that for me, once I got Owlbear, I was more interested in doing damage because as we got into higher levels, Lae'zel started getting enough hit points that she was able to take care of herself, and I didn't really need to worry about situational stuff too much because Gale and Shadowheart also have enough hit points and armor class now and situational abilities that allow them to get away if things are stacking on top of them. So I haven't used the bear form a lot since I got the Owlbear form. The Raven form I have used on occasion because of the fact that it allows me to get to places quickly and easily during fights because of the fly ability. It does not have a lot of hit points, but you can blind enemies. I've never really used this in combat. On the flip side, when I am playing my Ranger Beastmaster, I definitely use the blind a lot, but that's because I'm playing that character in a different way. So I'm using that in combat a lot more because I have a Raven and a Wolf companion with my Ranger. But those are other playthroughs, so I'm just speaking out of turn here. Um, I've never used the Badger at all. Um, I think I've only used the Spider one time because of the Inweb. The wolf form I have used a lot, and the reason for this is because when Lae'zel is doing stuff, and I just want to focus on DPS, I believe it's the Insight ability, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not Insight. Where is it at? It's not Distract either. Yeah, it is Distract. It's Exposing Bite. This is the one I'm thinking of. Exposing Bite nips at a target and distracts it. If your attack hits, the next attack against the target from within 1.5 meters is going to be a crit hit. I love using this in conjunction with Lae'zel. So when I'm up close and personal and she's got 2 or 3 mobs on her and she's focused fire and she's doing cleave and all the things that she's doing, I like to be in wolf form when I'm up close with her because I can hit that exposing bite and her next hit gets to be a crit hit against the target, which means she does an insane amount of damage when that happens. It's a really cool ability, so I use the wolf form um, about, I would say, an equal amount to the owlbear. I think I will use the wolf form a little bit more when we're focused on boss mobs, and the owlbear a little bit more when it's we have lots of targets in a small compact area. So I'll just group them up, do the rupture with the owlbear. If anything's left standing, I'll hit them with a couple fireballs from Gale or an ice storm or something like that. I got Cloud Kill finally, which is amazing. I can't wait to use that. I haven't actually used it even though I got it. But Exposing Bite works really well because it gives you that instant crit hit. What else here? Deep Rothe, I've only used it one time in the whole playthrough. I don't feel like it's something that suits me and my play style, but you get these dancing lights which illuminates a 9-meter radius, which isn't that useful. What's up, everybody? Quick commercial break here to give it a shout out to our guild champions, who are the highest tier memberships here on YouTube. Ancient Entity, Assassin Gamer 94, Bubbaloni Rising, Crazy's Relative, Mujin, and Remedy. Thanks so much for the highest tier membership. And thanks to all of the members who support the channel, because you keep me doing this full time. You too can become a supporter if you're new here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Join as a member. There's 3 different tiers. We do lots of special stuff, private polls, private videos. You get a shout out if you're the highest tier membership, but you can also do one-off donations in the form of super chats on any live stream or premiere you see, and of course super thanks on any upload or YouTube short. Whatever you can contribute, it's great. Keeps me on the air full time, keeps the cats fed, keeps the homestead running. Anyway, back to the video, everybody. But then the charge is kind of fun. I've seen it used. I don't personally use it, but it knocks enemies down. It has a chance to knock them prone. And it doesn't attack. It doesn't provoke opportunity attacks, which is very interesting. The Panther is great for sneaking around. I've used it a couple of times, but it can also be useful in combat scenarios, but I don't use it that often. Saber-toothed Tiger, I also haven't used a lot yet because you get these two abilities, Shred Armor and Regenerate Hit Points. So this is something that can help with reducing armor class, but it's only 1 point, so I don't really find it to be that useful. So to be honest with you, I would prefer to use the wolf form in comparison to the saber-tooth tiger. Personal preference only, of course. That's just how I like to play. And then we get into, finally, cat shape. Now, cat form can be useful in pulling scenarios. I think I've used this against, for example, the Spider Queen Matriarch in the caves beneath the Blighted Village to move forward and use the meow to distract and pull that target away and have it come investigate this thing over here. And then when it's over here investigating this thing, I get a sneak attack or an advantage attack and I surprise the mob and go from there. But also, wild shape cat. Cat form is extremely useful for doing, there's every once in a while you'll come across these small holes or burrows that you can only get through if you have a small form like cat that you can get into and go through. So, for example, if you watched the, I think it was the Steelheart video, or it's not Steelheart. Is it Steelheart or Steel Claw? I forget the name of the cat that we came across outside of here. Actually, we're in Moonrise Towers right now. Outside of here, there was a cat that we came across. I did a short little 3 or 4 minute video the other day, and to get to her, I know someone else said they used gaseous form on their sorcerer to fly up, and I could have probably used the Raven ability to fly up as well. But there was literally a cat hole that I was able to change into cat form and then go through the hole, and then I popped up right next to the cat, which she had been using as well. So I find the wild shape cat form is really cool for exploring around and getting into those small nooks and crannies that no one else can get into because they're too big to go through. So I think for me, the other thing I really love about all of these is, and we've talked about this in other videos, the nice thing about all of your wild shapes is that they have their separate hit points. They have their own hit points. Obviously, bigger animals have bigger hit points. They can't be shoved, things of that nature, which is very useful in situational areas, which is why the bear and the owl bear are very, very useful for that. But overall, all of these have their own hit points, which is why I don't worry about concentration. And I've had a couple people comment on my beginner's build guide going, "Oh, you should have put points in concentration, otherwise you're gonna be getting interrupted all the time, and they're gonna, or put your points into constitution so that you get better concentration." I have never once in my whole playthrough had an issue with getting my concentration knocked out. Knocked out. I've never had an issue with getting interrupted and having my concentration ruined. It's just not an issue. I have gotten like knocked out of my wild shape a few times because the mobs were doing so much damage, but it's brilliant because you can just immediately go right back into another form on your next turn. So you have essentially multiple different hit point pools during big fights, which means if you know you're going into a big fight that's going to be really bad, just go straight into like owl bear or bear form because you're going to get the most hit points and go from there. So that's how I use my wild shapes here as a mid-level moon druid. If you liked this guide, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Don't forget, we do daily streams at 11 a.m. Central. There is a Discord. Links are down below. We're covering lots of other games, so check out the other playlists, podcasts, and beyond. Support if you can with memberships and beyond, and I'll see everybody in the next video or live stream. Till then, stay safe and happy gaming.